Great. So we need projects like yesterday. These projects are the one that are going to help us a lot. So today, what we will be covering. Okay, I've not started sharing this other screen. Actually, the screen that I'm sharing is just for me to see. Wait, screen one, which is screen one, which is screen two. Console. Okay. The recording is up. 41 seconds. With this. Anyway, so today, like I said last week, we will be covering CACD workflows and everything. These are very essential actually. This is going to make you be a pro. So, be, let me just touch base on this. Then I'm going to do a recap from week four because week four it covers week one to three, all of it. From week four, do a recap for week five. Then week six, actually, we have been doing it all across, doing debugging and testing. But this one is more for backend. If you start covering this one, there's an entire module for this one, software testing. So there's an entire module for this one. We cannot cover it all, like we cannot finish. But not to worry. I think by end of week I'll be uploading like videos for each lesson. Like for example, week one, my internet is so lagging. Like for example, week one, don't know how many lessons do we have. For each lesson, it is going to have its own video. It can be a video from me recording, doing a recap of that session, or just getting it from YouTube directly. But anyway, at the end of the day, we will be having all the videos here. I think, yeah. So just understand that week seven and eight, we are just brushing through. In the course of the weekend, I saw actually even yesterday, I saw some people asking how to deploy locally on something and everything. Backend is normally render. We have a lot of recommendation in the market. We have a lot of recommendation in the industry itself, but go with the best and suitable option. If you ask me, if I want to deploy backend, I have like ton of like I have a lot of options that I can choose from. I have a lot of options. Counting from render, Heroku doesn't work nowadays. We have render, we have Railways, we have Fly.io, we have Docker. I can deploy it on Docker. I can go for DigitalOcean. I can put that on Firebase. I can put that on Superbase. I have so many options that I can able to use that. I can able to use Red Hat because it comes with security instead of using Kubernetes and Docker. I have so many options, but we go for the best and suitable options that are there. You see, for front end, of course, we have a lot. People only think of Vercel and Netlify. We have a lot that we can be able to use. Actually, I've not even mentioned for about AWS, Azure, GCP, that is Google Cloud Platform. I've not mentioned those. We have so many options, but these options they vary with technicalities. They vary with pricing and everything that pertains that. But complexity is what we are relying on. And of course, pricing is actually those two factors, pricing and complexities. Using render, it can be easy to deploy. You see, it can be easy to deploy on the cloud. Using Vercel, it is very cheap. Actually, even render, it is cheap. It is not like just cheap, it is free. Also, Vercel, it's free. You see? So, but the most important thing is that you have to automate deployment. You have done your whole backend. Now it is time to push it to production. But then again, you have a little change that you want to make in your code base, whether it is backend or front end. But then you want to automate the process so that you can be able to do the changes. Then when you push to GitHub, it goes directly to the servers. The changes are being made to the servers. So that is what we call CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous development. You're automating the entire process. And most importantly, you are using Git version control. You're using Git. So Git is there, but on the cloud side, you can use GitLab, Bitbucket, or GitHub. Those three options. You can use either, but Git can't change. So using that, unless you want to drag and drop files, it is going to be messy. So I don't this lesson today doesn't need introduction. You already know. Deployment is just the process of deploying it to production from local environment to production environment. When I talk about production is something that is live on the internet. When you can be able to share somebody with a link, that is deployment in terms of uh, development here. DevOps, develop operations. Develop operations is the operation that I can put it this way. DevOps, which is an acronym of develop operations. This is where a developer you are able to perform these tasks, including CI/CD, to make sure that you have created a pipeline such that it is easier to monitor. Like you have a monitoring screen to monitor every step of the way in the development. DevOps itself includes even architecture, everything, all the way from architecting a project all the way to production level projects. That is the entire DevOps, develop operations. You're not into codes. You're not into the functionality of the system itself. You're not into seeing how the system works, like where's the bug. No, that's not your issue. Your issue is to make sure that the engineer has done the work, you see. But now my work is to make sure that I transport everything that this person has done to a place where it is live on the internet and to be able to monitor to make sure that there are no leakages. When we talk about leakages, we are meaning something like environment variables, like API keys that are like they are leaked on the internet. Right now, if you go to GitHub, you can able to find API keys for OpenAI easily. So your work as a DevOps engineer is to make sure that that doesn't happen. So doesn't need introduction, like I said, but it is very important for you to be able to understand all of this. So I'm going to do a touch base on what it does, give you a bit of tricks and here and there. But then when I'm going to come to deploying backend, we of course we have this one and then we have this one. We are going to do like I'm going to do a project shortly, not to show you how I'm doing the project, but I'm going to generate a project really quick using AI because I don't have time to come up with a whole project. It can take even 4 hours. I'm going to come up with a project using AI really quick um, for both front end and back end. Then deploying on the internet, deploying on render or reversal doesn't need AI to do. You have to do it yourself. This is where you draw the line between AI and you. Unless you have an agent that is like Jarvis from Marvel that can do everything for you, but you're not yet there. If you're there, those options are very expensive. They're very expensive. You're not yet there. So just about touching on setting up Git and version control. So you guys have already done Git and GitHub while you were doing the first 8 weeks, right? The first weeks, in fact, of software engineering essentials. I know you guys have done that. But allow me to enhance your knowledge on Git a bit. Not unless somebody needs a refresher course. You can just lift up your hand. If you don't have any idea what GitHub is or Git, kindly just raise your hand up. You don't have an idea of what Git and GitHub is. You have never used it. Let me just allow these people to join in. People should join me using their invited links. Okay, hands down, it means that we already conversant of what Git and GitHub is, and we have done that. And actually, we have a GitHub account. For starters, we need a GitHub account. That's the first thing. The second thing, of course, okay, let us start from the beginning. You need a computer, whether a laptop or a desktop PC. You need a computer. Second thing, you need a Google account so that you can be able to log in through these things, so that you can have that email of sorts. You need a GitHub account for that. Then, of course, you need, if you're using Windows, you need Git Bash installed. You need Git Bash installed in your computer if you're using Windows. If you're using Linux, that comes out of the box. It is easier. The next thing, okay, let me just do these things just to make sure from here. I think it's basically practical. It is basically practical. So you need a GitHub account. I have not said that you need a GitHub account that looks like mine. No, don't bring pressure to your life right now, please. You have to start from somewhere. We all started from somewhere. My first repository in this GitHub account is from PLP 2022. I didn't say that this is my first GitHub account. I had another one full of PHP and cybersecurity stuff and Angular. But then I wanted now to start afresh. That one I was not consistent. So things about strict partner and everything wasn't consistent with that one. I closed it down. Then I opened a new one. So I closed that shop down. I opened a new one. I wanted consistency. My first repository here is from a project, a Python project from a hackathon in PLP 2022. I can't remember the day. I think it was around June or July there. I've been making changes here and there from my own and everything. I didn't say that you have to make sure that yours looks like mine, but you have to make sure that you have a GitHub account. That's the first thing. And I believe from there, you guys have been shown how to come up with these projects and everything, like come up with this creating repository and everything. Now, what you guys might have not been shown, anybody, let me just get this hint. Anybody who knows how to use SSH in GitHub? Anybody who knows how to use SSH in GitHub? Anyone? Abdi? Any idea about SSH? Okay, that's the first question. Okay. Second question. Anybody who has been able to manage to verify their commits? Like, let me show an example. For example, let me go to a repo. I'm just trying to give you an extra because you guys have already covered the basics, but there's more to like Git and GitHub that meets the eye. So there's a lot to it. So for example, when I go to this commit, I wanted to see the commit. You see, it is verified. And when I hover and click on that, it has my signature. Why is it verified? And why is yours saying unverified? Having this, it is going to, because for me, I can fake your commit from my computer. Remember, I've done cybersecurity. And when you're in a corporate level, not everybody likes you. Not everybody is your friend. Not everybody that smiles at you is your friend. So you need accountability. You need a way to make sure that nobody claims to be me when they are not me. So there's no impersonation. So that's why we use verification. For me, when I commit something, I have to enter a password. That password is my signature, meaning it has been committed from my computer. So if I'm to be blamed, I'm to be blamed because it is verified, because it is me who's committed. But in the case that it has been pushed and it is not verified, that is not me. Even in the court of law, we can say that is not me because why didn't I give an authorization? Because I can cancel the what? I can cancel not entering the password because entering the password is kind of optional in some level of knowledge. But when it is pushed, you have pushed your commit to GitHub and it is not verified, and then you go and say it is me who committed. I'm going to say my commits are all verified, and this is the password that I used. If it is not verified, that is not me who did the changes. So it is easier to get accountable, and it is easier to make sure that you are secure yourself because developers are in danger. We are an endangered species. So that is verified commits. You at some point you get to know that. Let me think of another thing that we don't know. Uh, okay, we are going to get to workflows, but let me start from this. So let me just bring up my terminal. So I'm going to take you guys through because I already know you know this. But first things, we have somebody raising up their hand. We just let that person in. Okay, let me just put this on auto mode. Don't have to get back here anytime. So you having Git and GitHub, first of all, you have to make sure, let's say you have installed a new OS and everything. You're wondering, how do I link my Git or my computer to GitHub? So first things first, if you have Git, you have to configure your username and your email. Those two things are going to link up your Git and your GitHub to communicate. So you're trying to create that communication tunnel. So it is normally git config. So you have to configure it globally. So globally mean the entire computer, like then everything that pertains any project that I can open in any folder. Then you come and say user dot name. Then I give my username. You see, let's say Abdi. Then maybe that's a username. When I'm talking about a username, I'm talking something like this. You see, this one here. That's normally your username. This one is a visible name, not a username. This one is the username now. So for example, this one here, you come and put it there, then you close. So when you configure something like that, you have linked your username to that. That's not all. So you come and configure your email. So user.email, you come and say, just put your email that you normally use. For me, I have so many, so let me put one of this. So when you configure that way, you have already linked up your Git and your GitHub account. Git is a version control tool. You see, Git is a version control tool, in my own opinion definition. GitHub is now the cloud environment to store code bases. That's the first step. You guys already know that. Now, how about SSH? So SSH, this is a way, like we have discovered, HTTPS is not secure anymore. It has been not secure for years. I know you guys know that it's secure, but for me, I cannot use it. I need something that is secure. So if I need something that's secure, just go on to the top right to access your profile. Click on profile, then go to settings. Profile settings. Navigate. You're going to see the access panel. In the left panel, the access panel, just navigate to SSH and GPG keys. Those. So using SSH is going to give you access to this, but as you can see, I have GPG. GPG, these ones are being used for verified commits. As you can see, I have two. I have two. I deleted the other ones that I had, but right now I have two. So this one is mostly used for verified commits, the one that you have seen, but this one is what I've been using. I've been using this one. I have deleted some of them because I've been changing operating system over and over again. The latest one that I have, actually this one I created last week, as you can see. I keep revamping over and over again just to make sure I have enough security. So SSH is good. SSH is good. This is kind of encryption that you're giving to your code base. You're encrypting your code base entirely. So when I come and I clone my project using SSH, not HTTPS. I never do HTTPS because there's a time that I was working on a Django project in an organization, and I found out by using HTTPS, like I got compromised. A lot of changes were not coming through well, and everything was not just great. I didn't have good experience, so I was introduced to SSH. That was back then in 2022, around October there, October, November there. So I've been using it ever since, and I've been getting great experience. I don't have like the exact phrase or the exact statement to give you like this is the benefits of using this, but just know it is good for security and it's good practice for developer. So you come and add, so new SSH. I'm going to delete mine right now. I want to delete mine right now, the one that I have. Let me just delete this one. So I've deleted it. I want to create a new one. So how do you create a new one? So you come here, just go. I prefer you guys using Git Bash because why? Git Bash mimics the Linux environment terminal. That it is better. PowerShell is good, but not for development. CMD is not good for development. These are terminals. They have their uses, their use cases. You see, Git Bash, it is mimicking the Linux terminal environment, which means it is suitable for development. PowerShell, it is for accessing administrator things and everything about Windows, same as CMD. You need to know what kind of terminals that you have and what purpose they serve. So for me, I let me first of all, when I navigate and do, I want to find, when I use hyphen A, you understand what I was trying to find. I'm trying to find anything dot, because everything dot something is not visible in the in, like when you do ls, you see they are not visible. So I'm trying to find ssh. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. So this folder, first of all, let me delete that folder. So rm rf, oh, this is the command to delete a folder. So rm hyphen rf or rm flag rf, then the name of the folder. So it's going to delete it. When I come and check, it is not there anymore. So for me to come up with this thing, you need to generate the key. So how do you do that? So you see, you say SSH key gen, just like that. SSH hyphen key gen, exactly that, like that. So SSH key generator. Then you hit enter. So it's going to give you a prompt. So generating public and private key pairs. And actually it is giving you the where it is going to put it. So you can either enter a name, or it is going to use the default one, which is this one. So you can enter a name if you want. So me, I'm used to not entering a name. So I just use the default. So it has created a folder called .ssh. Then it's telling me to enter a phrase. So this phrase is going to make sure that anytime I'm cloning and I encounter any security issues, it is going to prompt me to enter this phrase to make sure that it's switching to SSH to make sure that security is paramount. So I usually enter a password. Then you repeat. There you go. So it has been created. So if it has been created, I can just come and do cd.ssh. Then when I check inside, I have two files. I'm targeting the public one. So how do you know the public? So the public, as you can see here, they are saying your identification has been saved in that folder by that name. Your public key has been saved in that file name using .pub, which means public. Then the key fingerprint is you've been given. So this is the file that I'm targeting. So how do I open it? Or I'm just going to use cat, just like that. So I copy everything. Everything. I copy everything. Then I go here. I put it right here. Then I can give a name here. Just give that name. So the type that you're giving is authentication for security. We have so many signing and everything. So I'm giving authentication. So just leave it as that. Then you say RSSH. Let me put my password. There you go. So I have it here. I have it here. So anytime that I come and clone this, let me just go back, access it here. So anytime I go here and I want to clone, give an example, just the same project that I had. I have a very, very slow internet today. And I don't know why. Okay, okay. But I believe I'm audible. Yeah, it is connected now. It is going to be fine. Refresh. Open. There you go. Now, if I want to clone this entire project, if I want to create this, clone this, I was trying to come up with my own application for fitness. So if I want to clone this one, when I click code, I by default it's going to take me to SSH, not HTTPS. It's going to take me straight here. So use a password protected SSH key. So I click that, then I can come and say, let me go home and then desktop. What do we have here? So I can come and say git clone, then I paste. So if it is a new project, as you can see, so just created a new SSH. It's going to tell me, are you sure you want to continue? So I say yes. So if you have fingerprint on your computer, you can just scan it. So as you can see, it is prompting me to enter a password. So I just enter the password that I just used. And then there you go. As you can see, I was given a warning there earlier on. I was given a warning because you might not be sure of what GitHub has packed for you that day. So you need security. So when I come here, I can see there is it. Like the project is already there. Let me remove it. So that is SSH. So I believe from today you guys are going to use SSH. And we are not done with that. So that is SSH. For verified comments, that can come later. That can come later because we have different configuration for different computers. For me, for the first time, it really was a hectic, and I don't have the exact documentation that I've generated. But I will try this week to come up with the proper documentation to come up with that thing from scratch, like to make sure that you have verified commits. I'm going to accommodate people from Windows and Mac as well, because the method that I have is for Linux only, and I've not compiled it. It's on my mind right now, but I've not laid it down as a documentation. But worry not, I'm going to come up with that. Just somebody to remind me maybe by Thursday so that I can be able to process it kindly. Now, we might think that we are done with the version control, but there's a trick. We have so many tricks up the sleeve we can be able to share. And I believe you guys already know because I've been telling you over and over again using shortcuts. Like, okay, you don't need to do shortcuts in life, but there's a reason why for you to copy anything, you don't need to right click and click copy. You just need to say Control C. Then to paste Control V, to undo the changes, Control Z, to cut, Control X, and so on. This is why we have these shortcuts because we need to go faster. So another trick up the sleeve, because I already know you guys know these things, we have things called aliases. We have things called aliases. Aliases. So aliases, these are just shortcuts that you can be able to give. So next time you want to do a git push, instead of saying git push, you can just say, you can just give it a name, or trying to find the funny thing, like you can just put any name, like where Moria song, like that phrase is going to push something to GitHub by just putting that phrase. Like it is going to be unique and like amazing for you to be doing these things. So let me just show you. So I have it in a bash script. So if you're using Debian, like Ubuntu and everything, Linux Mint, you use bash. If you're using Kali Linux, you're using Zash. Yeah. And I believe so even for Windows, they're using bash. So bash RC. So I have so many aliases, but let me just take you for the one that I normally use for GitHub. These are the aliases that I normally use. So git, instead of saying git init, I just say init. It is going to perform this command. Instead of doing git status, I just say status. Instead of checking the git branch and saying git branch, I just say branches. It's going to bring all of them. Instead of saying git merge and then merge something like this branch, I just say merge, then put what I want to merge. Instead of switching to main, making the main branch as the default, I just say main. It's going to switch automatically. Instead of saying git checkout, then check git check